Hi folks, we are live on the Tusk Force dev server, and please forgive me if my voice is a little raspy. I'm coming off of some bronchitis. We're going to be taking a look first at the B-66B. This is a new American jet bomber coming into rank 6, and I'll show you here where it is on the tech tree. It's going to be in between the B-57s and the F-105D. So if you are close to finishing the F-105D, you should finish grinding that out before this comes in to block it off. And if you want to take a longer look at the stat card, you can pause there to have a look at it. Now, this is an American jet bomber from the 1950s that was adapted from a Navy plane. And there are some things in the game here on the dev server that are not yet complete. First off, the radar, the front radar, is a placeholder, and they're not showing you any of the stats for it or anything. But it is functional, and I'll show you that when I take it into a match. This is the dev server, so all of this is subject to change. Who the hell knows what the radar is going to be once it actually goes live? My gut tells me that they might just give this a really generic search radar. But I don't know, maybe they're going to give it like an anti-ground radar or something. We'll find out. Now in the tail, there's also an MD1 radar set here. And this is supposed to be able to automatically guide the guns in the tail turret. That's not working on the dev server. And I got to tell you, like, I'm really skeptical about how this is going to get implemented and how well it's going to work. If it's going to require, like, a player-controlled manual input radar lock, like if we're going to get a rear-facing radar scope and we have to manually select and lock targets in order for the guns to start shooting, a lot of those details are kind of TBD. I will have a full review of this plane once the update goes live, and I promise that'll be the very first thing I'm trying to look at. Let's take a look at its ordnance. Now, you only got two options here on the dev server. You got a cluster of 14 750-pound bombs, or a cluster of 4 3,000-pound bombs, the M118s. This is an extremely heavy loadout for, you know, a light jet bomber in this sort of a class. And I got to tell you, like, this is going to be really nasty for close air support. These 3,000-pound bombs have a ridiculously large blast radius. Or, you know, just like dropping clusters of these 750-pounders. So this is going to be pretty nasty for close air support. And of course, in air battles, you're going to be able to take out like at least 2 bases with that bomb load. It's at battle rating 9.0 for air, 8.7 for ground. I have a feeling that might get moved up. We'll see. I'm going to take this up into the air real quick. There are a couple of things I want to show you. Okay, so we are up in the air in the B-66, and before anything else, I want to draw your attention to the airspeed. Now, we are up at altitude, but we're at 0.95 Mach in level flight. This is relatively fast for a 1950s jet bomber like this, you know, especially compared to the other stuff we have in the game. Now, I'm going to go into a dive here just to kind of show you what happens if we push Mach 1. So we've hit Mach 1 in a dive. And that's about as far as we get. Okay, so we are back in the air in the B-66, and there are a couple of things that I'm going to want to show you here. Now, this radar set, let me see if it's going to let me, come on. I'm still a little far away. But as you can see, it's letting me at least try and lock this MiG-15. So whatever they've implemented this radar set as for right now, it is a conventional air-to-air search and track radar. Maybe, there we go. So yeah, it's letting me lock a MiG-15, not that it does me any good. And again, they have not yet implemented whatever kind of user interface we're going to get for the radar-guided tail turret. So that'll be kind of interesting to see once it comes in. Speaking of which, let me switch into the turret. There we go. Relatively decent field of fire in the rear hemisphere of the aircraft. Looks like a good 45 degrees off in each direction. not bad. 1,000 rounds of ammo, so hopefully that'll give you a little bit of defensive capability, you know, out in air battles for somebody chasing you down. A couple of airframe features I want to demonstrate. We've got combat flaps, and as you can see, I'm at Mach 0.86. I was at 0.87 when I dropped them out, so we've got relatively good speed on these combat flaps, and we've also got an air brake. Relatively enormous air brake there in the back of the aircraft. Again, it's the dev server, so who knows how effective those are going to be, you know, once the patch goes live, or what the rip speed on the combat flaps is going to turn out to be, but we'll see. Internal bomb bay, I've got, if I can get a camera view, I've got a load of 4 of the 3,000 pounders. These things individually are not quite enough to take out a strategic base in one hit, but you will be able to double tap. I'll get flying off to the side here, and we'll let that, there we go, do its thing. And inside the cockpit, you know, normally bombers come into the game with a low poly placeholder for a cockpit, but this one actually is extremely well detailed. I am very much looking forward to taking this thing up with the VR headset. So good work on the cockpit there. And is our bomb... So yeah, you can see there the impact of the 3,000 pounders. Not going to be quite enough to take out a base in one hit, but you know, with the bomb load on this, with either size bombs, you're easily going to be able to take out 2 bases in one sortie. So that's about all there is for the B-66 for right now. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I will have a full review of this once the patch goes live. As always, thanks for watching.